Hey y'all, what's up? Eric Johnson back with y'all again with a quick little video. I'm just gonna make this short, simple, and sweet. The whole Rory and Mal situation wasn't really in tune with a lot of those dudes over there when it comes to the whole hip hop topics and stuff. Cause them dudes used to be a part of the whole Joe Budden podcast. They had a little falling out, but this controversy that's going on with Mr. Mayonnaise, the spoiled creature known as Roy. There was a Twitter space, I think yesterday or maybe a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was last night where you had, Roy up there, talking real spicy, real crazy. The mayonnaise was all over the place. The milk went sour. You had one of these weirdo ass, agents, yelling at Roy. Roy trying to troll his way out. Y'all probably know who I'm talking about for all my Twitter, space individuals who let trolls and weirdos come into their spaces. Niggas with speakerphones that be yelling like Jimmy Hart, aka the mouth of the South. Y'all probably know who I'm talking about. He's a big, fat, fugly Negro that's been in spaces for the past couple of years, just being a fat, crust taco eating ass motherfucker. But let me get back to Roy. Roy has really fucked himself in this whole situation of him having anti-Black American hate and him trying to troll his way out of just saying, all type of racist ish. And Mal, he just basically a tether who just follow his white masters doing. And the whole Roy Mal situation is just really typical when you get one of these tethers, dick riding a white individual that don't show respect to the hip hop culture that you have been a guest in. And when it comes to music, I listen to some of everything, but just have respect when you come into Black Americans music genre that you had gracefully been a part of. Just don't come here trying to colonize and do weird shit and just say all type of racist shit. If you want to be like that, just do your own thing, but just keep your fucking opinions to yourself. But we already know in a society where people are just so infatuated with controversy and people are just all on social media. I didn't really want to talk about this, but it's been on Twitter all day, and I went for to make a space about it because niggas making spaces about everything and anything else when it comes to certain things and certain topics that's going on in the mainstream media. But when you have an individual who look as fugly as Roy, this just goes to show you when you have less talented people that's doing topics on hip hop and a lot of people that don't have like the credentials to talk about it, let alone, the work that they put in over the course of, decades, let alone a couple of years, they can actually give credit to people or even criticize, music, especially when it comes to hip hop music, when it comes to different musical genres under it. I really find it disgusting that people take a lot of these motherfuckers very seriously when it comes to their opinions about certain things, especially when it comes to Black American artists. Now, when it comes to these tethers, I really don't give a fuck about most of their music and stuff because most of the time, these white folks want to have them amongst them just so they can just be like cheerleaders with their pom poms out and be doing Sailor Moon poses while White Daddy is just speaking his rhetoric. But Mr. Roy, he was talking about black women, of course, black American women, being ugly, etc. He prefer white women. If you prefer white women, that's your choice. That's your prerogative. Get all the mayonnaise creatures that you want to. I mean, the closest thing, if I was ever going to get to a white woman, would be a Mariah Carey, though. But if you're going to get a white woman, for those who partaking into, drinking the milk and not having it going sour in your mouth, you better be getting the finest white girl out here if you're gonna be out here talking about black Americans and the black American family. But niggas like Mal are very coon minstrel show individuals. He sort of reminds me of Steven from Django. A lot of these tethers have that Steven from Django mentality, but you know Roy did delete his Twitter page. I didn't have a chance to block his bitch ass quick enough before he deleted. Wait, I did block him. I blocked his page and I muted him, but you know, there is word of his bitch ass deleting his Twitter page, and he did give a last tweet before the flame hit his ass and he got sent to purgatory. But he's gonna be out here doing his white boy apology. He ain't coming from it from the heart. We're gonna need to be compensated for this disrespect. And it's been a lot of these individuals, tethers and mayonnaise creatures disrespecting, hip hop legends and music when it comes to Black American dominance. And if you want to do music, do it, but just like show some respect and just like give props to people who actually gave y'all a chance to actually do music. You know, you get your influence for a lot of Black American artists, and it's okay you want to do music, but just show some damn respect. You know, to give respect, you got to get respect. You know, so and in reverse for those who don't understand what I'm talking about, but it's just typical white boy logic, white supremacist talking points coming from Mr. Roy, so the good thing about it is he did delete his Twitter page and ran off like a little bitch. The bad thing about it is you're gonna have his tether sympathizer Mal, because they have a they have a program with each other, so they just thing one and thing two. You got the cream and you got the crumble cookie that is the tether known as Mao, that's going to be possibly most likely 100% defending him, like Drake fans doing weird stuff. But um that's all I really got to say about this whole situation. I'm not gonna get like really in tune. Did it? I didn't look at the Twitter space, but I was seeing clips of like folks just giving him like the business. He's trying to troll, you know, his way out of it. Posing threats and stuff. Like if people wanted to do something to him physically, he's like do it then. Just don't talk about it, do it. But I guess he couldn't handle the heat. He had to delete his whole Twitter page. But with that being said, tell me what y'all think about this whole Roy and Coon Minstrel Show Miles situation in the comment section. Just let me know what y'all think about it. And do y'all possibly think he's gonna be going on another apology tour? Because I heard that around the campfire he's already apologizing like a little bitch. So we're going to see if people forgive him, give him the hamburger helper hand of forgiveness, and I'm going to see who's going to really be standing on that business. But besides that, that's all I want to say about this whole situation. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and see if you can get in touch with that tether mile. I just want to see where tether number 9,878,362 got to say about his white daddy. Crossing the gun line, boss. But with that being said, I'm gonna land my plane and get up out of here, man. So thank y'all for looking at the video. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out, y'all.